We are following an interesting story when it comes to wealth inequality in the country. The second richest man in the world is weighing in on Senator Elizabeth Warren's wealth tax proposal. Take a listen to what Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates said at yesterday's New York Times DealBook conference.
You know, I've paid over $10 billion in taxes. I paid more than anyone in taxes. But I'm glad to have paid, if I'd had to pay $20 billion, it's fine. But, when you say I should pay $100 billion, okay, then I'm starting to do a little math about what I have left over.
Have you ever talked to Elizabeth Warren about any of this before? Would you? Would you want to?
I'm not sure how open-minded she is, or that she'd even be willing to sit down with somebody, who has large amounts of money.
And nobody has more, it's hard to think of people who have more than Bill Gates, but Senator Warren did respond about meeting with Gates, writing on Twitter, quote, "I'm always happy to meet with people, even if we have different views. Bill Gates, if we get the chance, I'd love to explain exactly how much you'd pay under my wealth tax. I promise it's not $100 billion. Guys, we've talked about the way that Senator Elizabeth Warren has come out against billionaires. Billionaires have been outspoken about how they feel about this. They don't want to be seen as deadbeats in society. But what do you make of kind of, I don't want to say coming out against billionaires, but clearly she is fronting a movement to attack the wealthy and tax the wealthy?
This is exactly why the Democratic Party is scared of her winning the election, because Donald Trump is going to annihilate her. The fact that you have someone like Bill Gates, who is probably the biggest philanthropist that we've ever known in the world, who's dedicated his entire life to helping the most extreme poor, Elizabeth Warren can't talk against that. When you start getting folks like that disagreeing with your tax policies and basically calling you out on national TV, you're going down the wrong road. This country was built on capitalism, built on fair capitalism, gives everyone a chance. Families like mine, poor black families who are able to come up out of poverty and actually provide an education for their families for the first time. To go against that model is un-American, and I think that's really going to continue to be brought to light as you see, leaders like Bill Gates come out.
Yeah. I hear you. I think that the question is, the wealthy do already pay more than the average middle-class American.
You just hear Bill Gates talking about it.
Right. So, that's acknowledged. So I guess the question is, where do you draw the line? I think Bill Gates' commentary here is that he thinks that the Warren plan is a little bit too dramatic. I think that what I would be interested in hearing is listening to Bill Gates and other billionaires talk about what the wealth tax is supposed to finance, which is, Medicare for all, and whether or not you land on those types of proposals. I think we have to understand that the wealth tax is not just to tax the billionaires because it's fun. There is an end game, and I think that as a philanthropist, it would be interesting to see if Bill Gates believes in that mission more so than other billionaires. We've heard Leon Cooperman crying on CNBC. I'm not really interested in if they care. People don't like it when people take money away from them. It's what's the ultimate goal. That's what's more interesting to me.
Yeah, but the numbers don't work out. Even if you tax 100% tax across the board on every billionaire, it doesn't even give you 20% of the money needed for the tax plan that she's talking about, or for Medicaid for all. So the numbers don't make sense is what I'm talking about. It's not about how much you tax, but if you tax me and waste the money and put it into something that's going to be basically burned up, that's not helping anybody.
That's what we kind of heard Bill Gates say, too, when we're talking about he wants the freedom to, he thinks if you start a company that's that successful, you should have some freedom to go ahead and figure out what you want to do with your money on your own time. And we have seen him. We're talking about one of the biggest philanthropists out there. Not necessarily the case, though, for all billionaires across the board. And I think maybe if you focus on those rather than Bill Gates, that might be a smarter tactic to go here when we talk about people paying their fair share.
100%.
Yeah, but nonetheless, that is the battle. We'll see if those two sides can come together when we're talking about Bill Gates and Elizabeth Warren.